Right, hello everyone. Welcome to episode 34. Definitely, we've double checked, we've triple checked. This is definitely episode 34 of Music Is None of Our Business.
No doubt about it.
I still haven't done a tagline. Fucking hell. But I'm not even going to try and do one off the top of my head because it'll either be really rude or I'll get cancelled.
Or both.
Or both, yeah. So tonight's subject is, after boys' names last week, the sound files to which I accidentally labelled girls.
I noticed that, yes.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck
do you know
I was
what
thinking there.
It was so kind of characteristic of you, I didn't even bother mentioning it.
Oh dear. So anyway, this week is songs with girls' names in the titles. So...
Yes.
Yeah, which is obviously gives us a plethora of songs to choose from. Do you know, there's one.
There's got to be more than that.
I've got one that we might cross over on. I'm not sure.
Oh, blimey.
I reckon we might actually. Depends what kind of mood you were in when you did these. But anyway, when we get to it, I'll soon go, I picked that. I have got a spare, though. I have got a spare, a rather obvious spare one. But, yeah.
Okay.
And I also found one of mine is a completely different spelling than I thought it was for about 50 fucking years as well. So,
okay.
Which is interesting. So,
well, you might say it's interesting. We'll be the judge of that when we get to the explanation.
It was interesting to me. I'll probably get. You could probably prosecute me under Shania law for it.
Now there's the thing. It seems I'm reliably informed that we are a long way behind the curve on that. And Shania law, as in the reference to Shania Twain, has been for a considerable time the subject of memes and jokes online and all kinds of things.
I didn't realise that.
I didn't know that.
I see.
No, so we're kind of a long way behind on that.
Perhaps that's why it popped into my head. Perhaps I have seen it somewhere and had just forgotten about it.
I don't know.
That's nothing. No. That's nothing new. If that is what happened, but yeah,
kind of spoiled it a bit, though, but never mind.
Yeah, well, never mind. So, shall I go first?
If you like,
do you want to go first?
You crack on.
Okay, my first one with girls' names is a song called "Maxine" by Pete Shelley
right.
of Buzzcocks fame. Well, everyone knows that anyone who's listened to these regularly knows how much we love the Buzzcocks. Yep. But after the Buzzcocks split for the first time, Pete Shelley released a string of singles and LPs under his, well, I was going to say under his real name. His real name is actually Pete Campbell McNeish, but under the nom de plume of Pete Shelley, not to be confused with Peter Shelley. Oh, we did that, didn't we?
I think we did, yeah.
Elvis Stardust, yeah. So anyway, this Maxine was the D-side.
The D-side?
The D-side, yes. It was a double single pack of a single called I Don't Know What It Is. I don't know what it is, but I got the feeling that it might be love.
It didn't take you long, did it?
It didn't. No, it didn't. It didn't. And for some reason, I sung it in a bit of a heavy metal fashion. I don't quite know why. But that was. I think it was his first. I think it was the first single he released after the Buzzcocks, and came just before Homo Sapien, which was released as a single, and then the album Homo Sapien, which was. Oh, that was a classic, wasn't it? I mean, Homo Sapien, the single.
Homo Sapien, the single, yeah, but I didn't really follow Pete Shelley after the Buzzcocks split up
really?
Too much, no.
Oh, I was a big fan. I was a big fan of Pete Shelley after the Buzzcocks split up. He went down the electronic path. Although the original recordings of these, there was an album released last year's Record Store Day. Called Yesterday's Not Here, and it was radio sessions that he'd recorded post Buzzcocks between 79 and 83, and Maxine appears on it.
Okay.
And these were more acoustic versions of the songs with guitars rather than what they morphed into later as electronic singles. And to be honest, I wasn't overly. I bought the LP and I wasn't overly keen on it. I didn't really enjoy it as much as I did the finished product.
Right.
But Maxine is it's a straightforward love song, really, and that was his forte, wasn't it? I mean, Pete Shelley and Buzzcocks, I mean, they wrote some of the greatest punk love songs ever,
and that's quite a small category of music, really. Punk love songs.
It is, yeah. I mean, I suppose that Buzzcocks really were the precursors to emo. Emotional hardcore and that kind of thing, because that was when the punks started singing about girls and love and slushy stuff like that. But Buzzcocks were the template for it, really.
Certainly, they were singing an awful lot more about love and relationships than much of the punk world were. The punk world mainly being focused on Smash the System, fuck nuclear war, and all of that lot. Buzzcocks definitely cut.
And the Buzzcocks were singing about, fall in love with someone they shouldn't have actually fallen in love with.
That was most famously, yes. But many of their songs were about love and relationships, girls, weren't they?
Absolutely, yeah. And Pete Shelley had recorded a lot of electronic music before Buzzcocks. That was his first forays into music were all electronic based. In fact, I used to have a single years ago when he was in a band called Tiller Boys.
Oh, right.
And I think that was recorded in the mid 70s, and then released post Buzzcocks to cash in. To cash in on it. And Maxine is just a brilliant love song, electronic based. The whole EP, I don't know what it is. I'm not going to sing it again, don't worry. They were, you listened. I remember listening to buying the double single and thinking, oh, this is brilliant, And when the album came out, as I say, Homo Sapien, I thought was a superb album, as was XL1, which was the next one. And then he released Heaven and the Sea, which was a bit more acoustic based, and I don't know what it was. I really liked the electronic side of it, but when he went acoustic and got back to guitars, I was a bit like,
okay,
But then he also released an album. Did you ever hear the Buzzkunst
no,
LP?
Didn't, no.
He released an album called Buzzkunst with Howard Devoto.
Oh, right.
Released it as, and it was released as Shelley Devoto.
Okay.
Was the band name, so to speak, and that was cracking.
Was that
was a
tongue-in-cheek
LP
thing or something?
Yeah, the Buzzkunst was obviously Buzzcocks. Buzz.
Yeah.
With a couple of words switched around, so it wasn't too rude. And that was, and Pete Shelley did all of the music, which was mainly electronic. Devoto did the lyrics and the singing, and it was brilliant. It was a really, really good album. I remember buying that when it came out.
Don't know it at all.
Yes, very good. So I don't know what to say about that one.
Okay, well, don't force yourself.
I'm terrible. I was thinking earlier, the way you talk about music and you describe how it ebbs and flows and how this happens and then there's this happen, and I'm like, I'm fucking useless at that. I'm so bad at just kind of explaining how a song works. All I can say is it's brilliant. Tell you what I think of the bands, etc., and then go. And now it's over to you.
Don't do yourself down. I think you do a fantastic job. You're far more knowledgeable about the bands and what goes on, and you do sing as well. So
There is that. Yeah, I knew I was good for something. I don't know what it is, but I got the feeling that it might be love.
Yeah, it's still a bit metal. It's still a bit Iron Maiden-ish, I think. Yeah, Nazareth.
Oh.
Okay, you all done on that one then?
I Am Done on Maxine by Pete Shelley. Yes, great song.
Okay, I knew somebody called Maxine once. Very nice, nice girl.
And we went to school with a girl called Maxine, didn't we? Maxine. I can't remember her bloody name though.
That's a possibility.
I'm sure there was a girl, Maxine.
Yeah, it's a possibility. It's not a common name though, is it? You don't. I don't think I've come across anybody called Maxine for 40 years.
No, probably not. There's a Maxine Peake, the actress.
Indeed, yes, but I don't know her.
Yeah. So. Oh, I do. Yeah, she's great.
I don't know her as a person, you fool.
I know what you mean. I was just pretending that I did. I was just pretending I had celeb friends. In fact, during the break, I'm going to go next door and see my mate Keanu, borrow a cup of sugar, and Dave, hi, and his celebrity friends. Yeah, that's my next. That's my next podcast. I think. Yeah, I'm going to make up lots of stories about my fictional
That'd be quite funny, I suppose. Just completely stupid anecdotes that fiction.
It would be great if you could actually, if I could do impressions. I'm terrible at impressions. I can't even say it. It's like my name is Michael Caine. I can't do it. My friend Gary, he's fucking ace. He's John Peel impression.
Right.
It's fucking brilliant. I'll have to record him doing it and slip it into one of the podcasts.
Yeah. Okay then. Right.
Can you do impressions?
I'm terrible at impressions. I'm nowhere near as adept at you, and it's saying something when it comes to accents, territorial, regional accents. I couldn't. Yeah. I can't do Liverpudlian, Geordie, Skelser, and all of that lot. But you pull it off convincingly.
Well, I will go so far.
Well, it's convincingly to my cloth ears.
Well, yeah, fair enough. You cloth-eared twat. Cloth-eared. Fucking hell, no one says that anymore. How old are you?
Oh, at least that.
Actually, I know exactly how old you are.
You would do. There's a reason for that. Okay, my first one then is also very much in the poppy kind of area, because my first one is a song called Marlena on the Wall by Suzanne Vega.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, you would know. Most people, I would think, would know this, even though...
Is this the normal one, or have you found a 20-minute remix or something?
This is absolutely the normal one. The normal one. I don't know if there's a 20-minute remix, but if it's out there, I want it. Maybe if I just play it at 16 RPM or something. Anyway, great single. Most people probably have heard it, even though it was released back in 1985. And it's also to be found on her debut eponymous album. Another eponymous album cropped up there. So it's just a great song. It's great production as well. It's really got an intimate feel to it, and it was produced by two chaps, Steve Adabo and Lenny Kaye. Steve Adabo has also produced Dylan, Olivia Newton-John, Gary Lucas of the Magic Band, and Jeff Buckley. He also wrote Left of Centre, which is another great track with Suzanne Vega. Lenny Kaye, on the other hand, is Patti Smith's guitarist at various times. So the two of them produced this, and as I say, it's a very, very nice, crisp, intimate kind of feeling record. And the song itself is referring to Marlene Dietrich, because Vega was a big fan of Dietrich, and the Marlena on the Wall is a reference to one of those iconic Dietrich posters that you would see in old films and so on. And the song itself is about relationships, and I think it's about, what's a level of acceptable violence. Like a lot of songs, it's not explicit in what it's saying, but that's the impression I get. And it's kind of asking, in this circumstance, what would Marlena do? But I liked it a lot as soon as I heard it, because it's a great tune. And I suppose it helps a bit that being 1985 when it came out, it's deeply shackled to a whole raft of very fine memories from that time, because the 80s, like any time in your life, it has its ups and downs, but the 80s were glorious in many respects. There's a great record. Suzanne Vega, for those who may not know, is a US singer-songwriter who is also a practicing Buddhist. She started out performing her own...
Oh, really?
Yes, a Mahayana Buddhist, in fact.
Bless you.
You got it. That's almost as predictable as my long tracks. It's like a trope of our podcast. I bet you sit there like a coiled spring, don't you? Just waiting. I'm gonna get it. I'm gonna get it.
I'm like a humour cobra. I strike.
Oh dear, oh dear. So you got at least one in anyway. I don't know if you'll have opportunity to get others in, but there you go. So she started out performing her own material, and it's contemporary folk with a pop kind of tinge, and she toured around Greenwich Village in New York, and it's just herself and an acoustic guitar, although over the years that's latterly expanded into songs that have full bands. She's got a really nice voice, and it matches perfectly with the kind of music that she's making and the production, so all of these things in combination come together in really great records. A story's familiar to a vast lot of bands and performers, I guess, in as much as it took her ages and ages banging on doors, getting rejected by label after label until she eventually got signed. And she got signed by A&M, who had already rejected her twice in advance. But somehow she managed to convince on a third attempt that she was worth a punt. And I'm sure the bean counters at A&M were very happy, because Marlena on the Wall became a huge hit in the UK, sold shed loads. Second album, Solitude Standing, reached number 2 in the UK album charts and number 11 in the US charts, selling 3 million copies. And that included terrific songs like Luca and Tom's Diner and Solitude Standing. Tom's Diner, which was released as an a cappella piece, the UK dance duo DNA then remixed it without authorization with electro beats, and that became a hit in its own right. And Vega retrospectively granted permission for its existence, as long as they changed the title, because their remixed version they called Oh Suzanne. So she said, well, you know, if you turn it back to Tom's Diner, we'll call that a proper song and I'll let you do it. Weirdly, Vega is said to be called the mother of the MP3 by the German engineer that developed MP3s, Karl-Heinz Brandenburg, because he used the track Tom's Diner extensively to refine the algorithm. So he calls her the mother of the MP3. And perhaps more weird still, I don't know. It's a matter of perspective, I suppose. Vega is credited with being, in 2006, the first major artist to perform live, and that's me doing kind of apostrophes, live within Second Life, that hyper twattish virtual world where people scurry if they're incapable of functioning in reality, and they live lives through their hyper twatty avatars. But yes, you played live a concert in Second Life, if that's at all possible.
I've never really. Well, I don't even know what you're talking about when you said Second Life.
No, it kind of there was a lot of hype.
I think I've heard of it, but yeah.
And then it kind of vanished. It was one of Mark Zuckerberg's grand plans a few years ago that there would be this massive functionality.
It's a bit like Ready Player One. Have you ever read that book? Seen that film?
I know of
Ready
it.
Player One?
I know of it broadly.
And they live in virtual reality.
That's it. Yeah.
Worlds. Yeah.
It's a bit like that. So it's a bit weird. But hey ho, if it seems to have vanished. I think the whole discourse on new tech seems now to focus on equally hyper twattish Google Glass type things, where you got perverts and idiots secretly filming their arseholish ways as they wander around the streets of cities. Fucking idiots. Anyway,
I take it from that you're a fan.
I've got 6 pairs. No.
Oh, dear.
It's just awful. Anyway, Vega, when she performed at Glastonbury in 1989, the first woman to headline the Glastonbury Festival, she had to wear a bulletproof vest because an obsessive fan had been making death threats. I sometimes wonder what it means to be a fan if you want to shoot the person you idolise.
Yeah.
It's a bit like Chapman and Lennon, I suppose.
But,
you know, who knows what goes through the mind of these tortured souls? Perhaps you would know.
I
tortured soul.
tortured arsehole.
The curry's tomorrow night, isn't it?
True, yeah. Yeah, that should do the trick.
Yeah, always good for that. I went out for a curry in Wellingborough a couple of weeks ago with a bunch of mates, and went to this little village, or just outside Wellingborough. We went to this little village to a curry, and everybody's food came before mine, so they were on their kind of desserts while I was still fucking waiting for mine, and it was a bit crap anyway. Yeah.
Do you want to name and shame the curry? You know, given our vast influence.
I won't do that. Everybody else seemed happy, but to be honest, everybody else was pretty drunk, and I don't drink anymore, so that makes a big difference in these things. Anyway,
absolutely.
Suzanne's still out there, still touring, still recording. She's on a world tour this summer, in fact. Although the UK leg seems to be taking in a very unusual path, because she's playing these relatively small halls in, well, what appear to be, I don't know, Salisbury, Folkestone, Aylesbury. I think she's playing in Halifax. This is not your conventional kind of global star tour. And she's not playing any cities, I don't think, including London. Bit weird, but
how strange.
Folk people, hey.
Are you going to see him? Are you going to see her?
Anywhere near me? No. So probably not. But great song, a very good artist, great respect to her, and I'm sure we'll put it on the playlist. But I'm sure most people, even if they don't know what it is, they will have heard it at some point.
Yes, I quite like Suzanne Vega. I've never really bought any records, but I've always been aware of it. I mean, you could Tom's Diner, you could fucking hardly escape from the fucking thing in the 80s, could you?
Helped that there were two versions, one with electro beats and one that was pure folky, but they're both great. Yeah,
there was that one that went. There was the one that went, and then there was the one that went. Yeah.
Thanks, we did that together without even rehearsing.
We did. That was really good. We're like on just a fucking telepathic link between us.
I could see you needed me. I could see you'd entered into this and didn't really think it through. So
what am I thinking right now?
You're still thinking about your arsehole, which is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, I was. That's fucking uncanny. Jesus Christ, man.
Oh, dear.
Fuck me.
There you go. So,
how many fingers have I got?
No, that's too much. Okay.
Yes. Oh, it's me. Yeah, sorry.
There's only fucking two of us.
Fucking oh, the professionalism.
Indeed, to a fault.
Okay, so my number 2 is a song by Derry's finest, The Undertones.
Oh, right.
And it's called Julie Ocean.
Oh, right.
Taken from their third LP, Positive Touch, released in 1980. Well, the single, I believe the single was released in 1981. I can't remember when the album was released. This was, obviously Undertones from Derry, formed way back in 1974.
Gosh, is that early on? Wow.
Yeah, I didn't know that until I was looking. I knew that it was pre-79, but they'd been banging around in various forms since then. And obviously their story's famous, isn't it? Fergal, John, Damien, Michael and Billy released their first single, Teenage Kicks, on Good Vibrations Records, posted off John Peel. John Peel played it to death. It was his favourite single of all time. Yeah. I think he play it 30 days running, or 30 shows running, or something ridiculous. Yeah. But he absolutely loved it. And their first two albums were fabulous, punky, frantic pop. And then they got to 81. The Positive Touch came out. Was a lot. I'm not going to say slower. It was them trying to be more sophisticated. I think, bring in different elements rather than power pop punk. Trying to bring in some of their other influences. A bit of soul. Just to smooth things out. And Julie Ocean it's just such a fabulous song. It was released as a single as well. And it's probably one of my favourite. I mean, I loved the Undertones string of singles. I know we've spoken about strings of singles before, and I think we overlooked we overlooked the Undertones a bit, didn't we? Because they did such a fantastic, run of singles. It was, I can't even, I can't even put it into words how good it was.
Jimmy.
My Perfect Cousin, Jimmy. You've got My Number. Why don't you use it? Here Comes the Summer.
Gosh, that was a song, wasn't it?
You've got obviously Teenage Kicks, one of the great singles of all time. And then you've got Julie Ocean. When Saturday Comes.
I can't remember Julie Ocean. I can't remember if I know that one or not.
Julie Ocean.
That was just a prompt for you to sing, wasn't it? Lined it up.
Yeah. Always on fire.
No, I don't know.
Julie Ocean. Crazy Desire. I can't get that. I can't quite get. No one can get the Fergal warble.
No, that was
correct,
a very distinctive voice.
No one.
Yeah.
It was beyond distinctive, wasn't it? It was beyond distinctive.
And then he went off on solo and did A Good Heart Is Hard to Find, didn't he? Massive hit.
Yes, he did. Hit. And what was the other one? He did, because he did those 2 solo singles, didn't he? He did A Good Heart.
What's the other one?
And then there was the other one he did was that not the retort to that particular song?
I can't remember.
No, I can't remember now. Which is quite poor. I'm not gonna hold
was
on,
it,
try.
Was it Thames Water, You a Bunch of Cunts?
That's the one. Yes, it was. Fantastic single. Yeah, because he is now, a campaigner for clean water, isn't he?
A vociferous campaigner.
So anyway, Julie Ocean. When Saturday Comes, there was a Wednesday Week.
Oh yeah,
Wednesday Week.
I forgot about that one.
Wednesday week, she loved me. Wah, wah. Wednesday week, never happened at all. Did it.
Oh dear.
It's going to happen.
Oh, of course. That's a great... Yes, they all come from...
Happens all the time.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen.
But yeah.
And then the Love Parade got to have him back. And then that was it. And then Fergal left. They carried on with... Well, they've reformed with a different lead singer. They were going to reform for John Peel's 50th or 60th birthday. Okay. And I believe they'd rehearsed. They'd all kind of, they said they were going to play again, but they decided to do a one-off gig just for John Peel. And then I think the day before they were supposed to play, the O'Neills' mum died or dad died. And they had to pull out. They couldn't do it. But such a great. Get Over You. Forgot about. I just want to get over you. It doesn't matter what you do.
I can't remember that one. No. No. But there was a lot of good singles in that stream. Yes, I didn't have any of their albums, and I don't think I ever owned any of the singles myself. But they are great records, really.
I had most of the singles. Never had the albums. Although I do have, I'm pretty sure I've got a compilation they released recently, which was kind of a best of. I think it's called West Bank Songs, and that had a lot of the stuff from the albums as well. Although I think it missed out Mars Bars, which was a nightmare. But Male Model, I was just looking at the track listing. Male Model, do you remember Male Model?
No, I don't.
Just that was from the first LP, I think. I wanna be a male model. It's just such a brilliant. I mean, they were so simple. They were kind of like the Northern Irish Ramones, really. I
suppose so. Yeah.
These simple songs that were just absolutely fantastic. But Mars Bar, hey raid the spa. To help me through the day, I need a Mars bar. Something. They help me, make me work, rest, and play. Fabulous. But I've wanted to talk about the Undertones for ages because I am a huge fan. I had a really good friend called Peter years ago who unfortunately passed away probably a long while ago now. He was a massive Undertones fan, and we just the first day I ever met him. We got talked about music, talked about the Undertones, and we were best mates after that for a long while.
Did you ever see them perform live?
I never did. No. But every time I even think about undertones, I automatically think of Peter.
Right.
You know, and his favourite song was Mars Bars. And it's such a brilliant song. Yeah, so yeah, Julie Ocean, The Undertones.
I should look forward to
absolute
hearing
classic.
that on the playlist.
Yeah, brilliant. You should make an effort to listen to some LPs.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, just to remind yourself how brilliant they were.
Just running through those singles so that I'd kind of forgotten. You do think, yes, they're great. They're great singles. We'll have to have a listen, certainly. Right. My second pick of this episode then is a piece of music called Carolina Foxtail Sea Chirp.
Of course it is. Of course it is.
It's by a band called Cloudland Canyon. I don't know if you're familiar with those, but Cloudland Canyon is a state park in Georgia in the United States. I'm not entirely sure if this group is named after that or whatever, but I guess so. But they do some very, very interesting experimental electronica, and it's quite unlike anything else I've heard. It's led by a guy called Kip Earlhorn. I'm not entirely sure.
Bless you.
Is that for the Kip or the Earlhorn?
That was Earlhorn.
Yes, Uhlhorn, Earlhorn. So it's an unusual name.
Oh, okay.
But he's an erstwhile member of Tav Falco's Panther Burns, which is a great name for a band. I'm not really familiar with their work, but it's a good name.
No, I know the name, but I've not really listened to him, I don't think.
No. He's also played with Rhys Chatham and the awesome Glenn Branca, experimental guitarist. So he's done some things outside of Cloudland Canyon. We'll have to put to one side his most recent record because he released a record in 2023 on Medical Records, which has, by his own open, very candid admission, he did with heavy use of artificial intelligence. I'm not a big fan, but I can happily say that having listened to it, it is one shite electro disco abomination. It's nothing like nothing like anything he's done before, and he seems very pleased with it. I'm not entirely sure why, but it's awful. But we won't worry about that. Other of the material is leagues away from that, and this track from their first album, Requiems de Nature 2002 to 2004, is which is a collection of bits and pieces that he'd put together before this record's release in 2006. And as I say, it's his first album, and it's a wonderfully noisy, deranged but enjoyable listen. It's a collection, as I say, of earlier...
A bit like this podcast.
It's wonderfully noisy, deranged. I'm not sure about the enjoyable listen, you know. I sometimes enjoy listening to it. So it's organic noisescapes, twisted up in streams of hissing, seething electronics. It's not kind of... like, as I say, anything else that I can think of. I can't even think of a genre it would come under closely other than experimental electronics. But don't go thinking it's going to be really difficult, challenging, because there's some great kind of tuney bits in there. The tracks do start and end unexpectedly. Unless you had it playing on a CD player, it would be very difficult to tell whether a track had finished or whether this was just a sudden change in the middle of a song, because it's kind of like that. One of the things I do like about it is the whole album's got this kind of aged feel. It feels like it's all on corroded tape. It doesn't feel like you're listening to a band. For me, it's almost like experiencing some past life. It kind of gives the sensation of warm summer meadows and rundown buildings and insects buzzing and the kind of pure enjoyment of being with someone you love when you've got no place else to be, which I know sounds like a very odd way of describing.
You soppy twat.
I know. It's weird. And it doesn't sound like I'm describing some kind of electronic, noisy, experimental thing, but that's the way it makes me feel. It kind of has this feeling of nostalgia, and it's got a lot of field sounds in there. The track itself kind of has a percussive section, some strummed electric guitar, and what sounds very much like a kazoo playing lead.
I love a kazoo, mate. I love a kazoo.
It sounds dreadful, but it's one of those that you describe it sounds dreadful. I think there was one last week that I was trying to describe. There was Exuma, and as I was talking about it, the more I talked about it, the more I thought it sounds like I'm talking about something shit. But this is a great piece of music. It's all fuzzed out and scorched and sunburned and blended together. It's great. One of the things it does remind me...
I do like the sound of it,
right,
actually.
well, good.
Weirdly, I've been doing, with the Instagram just recently, I've been doing lots of reels about hauntological music.
I see. Yes, I see where you're going with
this would probably fit in with that. I mean, with the kind of the nostalgia thing, and I was talking about a couple of records, specifically at one point, Vic Mars LP on Claypipe Records, and how you can play it through headphones, and it's quite pastoral sounding. And it's kind of, it sounds like something that Vaughan Williams would have made. Okay. And you sit there and listen to it, and it's like, it's very 50s type 60s sounding, and you actually start remembering running through forests wearing short trousers in the 50s and going, hang on a minute, I wasn't even fucking born then. But it's so good at conjuring up these artificial memories. And the same with things like Warrington Runcorn Newtown Development Plan, and the way that just implants images in your head of like brutalist 70s architecture and new towns, and and motorways that had barely any cars on them, and pylons.
You said that in a very dramatic fashion.
Well, pylons is one of those. Pylons is one of those things where that people of our age just remember. We always remember pylons when we were kids for some reason. I don't know why it is.
You do, vanished.
but they have a real sentimental. Give me a sentimental feeling, just from driving, in cars, and pylons would be the only thing you could see for fucking miles. Sometimes
I was about to say, I think from where we came from, the land was so flat and featureless. Pylons perhaps had a more significant prominence in your mind than if you were living somewhere else.
Absolutely, absolutely. But this sounds very much of that kind of, a lot of early boards of Canada, or all boards of Canada, I think.
Yes.
Very, very, that submerged,
that hazy, gauzy feeling.
Yeah, with the vocals, there are like taped, soundtracks from, kind of boards of Canada films, weren't they? The film board of Canada, and wildlife documentaries and things like that, but buried just so they're just barely discernible. But that kind of conjures up memory as well.
Yeah, there are some similarities to that kind of thing with this record in places. Not all of it, but in places. I think at times it's a little bit more in your face, but not very much. But one of the things it does remind me of many, many years ago, me and some mates went down some woods outside March. It was a very hot summer's afternoon, and we were making a music video, and it was very disorganised. It was Al Fisher and Nick Palmer, and we were making this music video about a suicide bomber or something, and we were up in trees with rucksacks. Now I've no fucking idea. I can't remember why we would think a suicide bomber would be up a tree in a field in the middle of Cambridgeshire, but it was such a great afternoon. It totally reminds me of that, because it was hot. I think the smoking had quite a bit to do with how good it felt, but it was a great thing to do. Anyway, the album is very wonderful, and so is the 2008 album, which is a little bit more motoric krautrock, but that's no bad thing. But it sticks with that hazy, fuzzed out guitar, blurred voices, a shimmering kind of sense to the music that is just not quite holding together. So it's bloody good stuff. I can't say an awful lot more about Cloudland Canyon than that, because there isn't an awful lot more out there, and they haven't got a massive catalogue. But this record, hopefully it's on Spotify. It's not a hugely long one, I don't think. It might be about 8 or 9 minutes, but it's not a hugely long one. But it's well worth hearing, rest assured.
I will check it out, and if it's on, it does seem to be on there. Just
excellent.
looking now. Yes, Cloudland Canyon. Yeah. What was the album you said?
The album is called Requiem.
Oh, Requiem de Natura.
Yeah,
that's on there.
Good, excellent.
I will give that a listen in our next break.
Excellent.
Wonderful. Right, okay, so number 3. This is the one I thought we might cross over on. And this is Melody Lee by the Damned.
Never thought of that. What a song. What a song.
What a song. I know we've done the Damned before. Yeah. I know it, but this song is from Machine Gun Etiquette, which is quite possibly my favourite of all of those first wave punk LPs. I just think that Machine Gun Etiquette was a fucking masterwork, and it is the high point of the Damned's career.
Definitely.
Definitely. I know a lot of people like the Black Album.
Yeah, I like it.
I know a lot of people like Damned. Yeah. But I think Machine Gun Etiquette is one of the greatest LPs ever made, and possibly the greatest of that first wave of punk bands.
It would certainly be in my top 10 of all time of any genre.
Yeah, it is just, I mean, from start to finish, one of the great LPs. And I saw them on that particular tour, and they were absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. Track 4 comes just after I Just Can't Be Happy Today. I mean, every single song on that album is just superb.
But Melody Lee has got one of the greatest song intros ever. The way it just starts off with that piano and then just goes wham, with bang.
Yeah, there's a lovely little piano motif going on, and then all of a sudden it's like Melody Lee, just smashes hard and a broken dream. Kind of, if I remember rightly, I believe it was based on Captain Sensible's love of Bunty comics.
Really?
Yes, it was the old, when comics were big in, in the US, you kind of think of Marvel comics and DC, whereas here we had like the girls' comics, Bunty, with all, stories for girls in their late, pre-teens and whatnot. Melody Lee was based on a comic. I don't know if there's an actual comic strip called Melody Lee. Yeah,
a character,
and it's just brilliant. Also, the subject of a fabulous cover version by none other than Leatherface.
Oh, is it?
One of my other all-time favourite bands. I mean, I don't really know what else to say about the Damned other than, it was Captain Sensible. This was the Algie Ward, who had been in the Saints and came over and joined on bass guitar. Apparently used to walk around with a claw hammer just in case he got into any scrapes, from what I remember. And around that time, you had Dave Vanian, obviously, on vocals, Captain Sensible, Rat Scabies, the kind of the holy trinity of the Damned, really. And I remember going when we went to see them, the first song they played was Love Song, and they came onto the whole of the stage was covered in dry ice. You couldn't see a bloody thing. You saw a bit of movement on, and Captain and Algie and Rat wandered on stage and started playing the intro to Love Song, the dum 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 go, and then they were just before Vanian started singing. He just swooped out of this cloud of dry ice,
like a bat,
and the whole of the front row jumped, just went fucking hell, and which is brilliant.
I think we said before, it's just an odd mix with that hyper gothic kind of thing with some classy punk music.
Yeah, they've been, if you look at their influences and you look at their career, even from Damn to say the Black Album, you had everything. You had garage punk in there. You had psychedelia. You had punk rock. You've got like R&B. You've got, the MC5 cover version.
That is one of the highlights of that as well. It's such a fantastic cover. It's a great song anyway, but that's
absolutely
superb.
Yeah. And then you go into the Black Album, and then you get into the Gothic side of things.
I think the Gothic was
and
taking
almost power pop at times as well. Yeah, and then because then after that you've got like Phantasmagoria and anything, and all that when they kind of went a bit off the rails slightly, and then that kind of decline after that, and then all of a sudden they kind of pulled it back with I can't remember what they did an album on Epitaph Records, which was pretty good. That must be probably 15, 20 years ago now.
After the Black Album, they were dead to me.
And they started making, some decent albums. They've made some decent albums recently. Okay. And live, they're a fucking scream.
I've seen them a couple of times. I did see them on their about 40th anniversary tour. I think they did the whole of Machine Gun Etiquette to start with, which was a great experience indeed. Yeah,
well, Machine Gun Etiquette, plays a massive part in the set list even now. They probably play more songs from that than any other LP, I would think. I saw them on that tour. We saw them.
We did
in 1982, 81, 82. And then I didn't see them for years. And then they kind of played every December. They played at the Junction, Cambridge. And I went for about 3 or 4 years running, I think. And always a great show. And then saw them again a couple of years ago at the Corn Exchange. And still brilliant. Still brilliant.
Saw them in a tent in the field. I think I said this last time we were talking about the Damned, with their Doctor and the Medics on support for some bizarre reason. Yeah.
They supported them at Cambridge a couple of years ago.
No, this was a lot longer than a couple of years ago. I didn't know Doctor and the Medics were still plodding along.
No, neither did I until they fucking racked it on stage. I was like, what the fuck?
Was it the Paracetamol sisters or something, wasn't it? The two girls.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, they were. Yeah, they weren't there. This was just basically him and some journeyman musos. But the Damned are back to the Rat, Captain, Dave, and Paul Gray lineup from the Black Album and around there. And they put on a brilliant show. They were really good. Even Rat. Rat's drumming has adapted
to his age.
Let's say to his age. Yeah, still fantastic.
Yeah, sure is.
And Captain looks fucking amazing. I know he's a vegetarian, but he's obviously worked out. He works out, and he would appear to. And for his age, he looks. Well, I hope I look as good as he does when I'm his age.
How old is he then? He can't be much older than you anyway.
He must. He's 70. I think he was born in 50. Hold on, 54. He was born.
A bit older then.
So he's 72 now. But he does look good for his age. Well, as does Dave Vanian, really. Rat looks a bit fucked, if I'm honest. But and Paul Gray does look as if he's about to topple over at any given time. But he does look. He looks relatively healthy, but in a kind of a frail way. Nice. He looks as if he's been through the wars. let's say. But Melody Lee is, that whole LP, as I say, it is absolutely fabulous. And and that's what I was convinced you'd pick that as well.
Yeah, I could have done easily, but I didn't. It didn't come to mind. There's so many. It's one of those things. Girls' names, boys' names.
Oh, gosh,
you start thinking about it, and then you just make a list and think, fucking hell, I could go on forever. I've got to pick 5. I don't need to think of every song I can possibly do.
In all honesty, I get to 6 or 7, I stop, because otherwise I'll just start second guessing myself, and I'll just get into a bit of a tiz. So I just I stop when I can, and then go, right, that's it. I'm going to take them from there, which is what I've done here. These are literally the first 6 I thought of straight off the top of my head.
Okay.
So
cool.
Yeah.
Okay then. Great choice, no doubt about it.
Thank you.
My next one then is a song or a track called Cellini, and it's by a chap called Ben Lucas Boyson. Was that a nod of acknowledgement, or
That was a Cellini. Is that a girl's name?
it is a girl's name?
I'll give you the benefit of the doubt.
Yes, it is a girl.
Okay.
She was a Greek. She was a goddess in Greek mythology.
Say no
she
more.
was believed to be, in fact, the personification of the moon.
Do you know, I didn't think of that because that means that last week in Boys' Names I could have had Mars bars. Fucking hell! It just didn't occur to me.
You did.
I didn't realise we could have deities.
It's boy or girl,
Greek or
Well,
otherwise.
indeed, there was no national or mythological boundaries, geographical boundaries. So I thought, I'll put this one in because who knows, I might not get another opportunity to mention Ben Lucas Boyson, and he's great. He does some fantastic music. Why this piece of music is named after, I assume it's named after the Greek goddess. I don't know, because Ben Lucas Boyson is an instrumentalist. There are no lyrics. There is nothing to glean from the record cover. There it is. He's got a song. He's got a piece of music, and he can call it whatever he likes. And it's up to the listener then to work out what, if anything, it means. So this is the closing track on his 2016 album Spells, which is another one on erased tapes. So I suppose if I mention erased tapes, as I mentioned last time round, you get a feel for it's going to be that kind of contemporary classical mixed up with electronics. And indeed it is. It's really, really immersive stuff. Ben Lucas Boyson is again a German electronic music composer who also records as Heck, as in HECQ. I was waiting for the bless you there, but no. You
No, I've had two today. I'm not gonna spoil everyone too much.
Good. Well, he's apparently a protege of Niels Fram, and it is easy to believe, as I say, because it's gorgeous melodies, piano, electronics, deft signal processing, all wound up, and you can just listen to it forever. I think of this kind of music is very much like having an antidote to a psychological lifeboat in the sea of fucking chaos and politics and sludge of life. You can just climb into this music and be floated away for a while and leave the whole rest of the shit behind. This is a lovely piano piece. It is just chords, long, deep decays on the notes that they come in with quite a fast attack, but then they dissolve slowly away into space, just hanging in the ether, and these vapor trails of sound reverberate on. As I said, it finishes the album Spells, and it's a great way to close, because it's one of those where the music stops and you don't feel like jumping up and putting another record on. You sit for a moment, letting it kind of settle on you, if you know what I mean. That kind of space it needs to breathe is just the silence that comes afterwards. And it's lovely. So all of the music on this particular album is quite sparse, quite spacious. It sounds as if Boyson has taken his instruments into a cavern hundreds of metres below a glacier for some of this. The veil, which opens this album, is just flickering notes in the darkness, which reverberate as if against damp walls. There are filigree, fragile sounds that pass through space. It's all very otherworldly, but it doesn't need to be anything other to completely be engrossing, to capture your attention. One of his best known pieces is on this, Sleeper's Beat theme, which is an excerpt from a piece of music he wrote, a full-length score for a documentary about the Trans-Europe Express, which was called Sleeper's Beat. So hardly one would call it a hit, but for those that might have a moderate kind of familiarity with that kind of world of music, Sleeper's Beat theme would be the one that is probably first to mind when thinking of Ben Lucas Boyson. So his whole catalogue's worth investigating. I've got quite a few of his records. There's a bad one among them. It's different to some of his earlier work, but it's all still beautiful, fantastic, definitely worth checking out.
Yes, I'll give it a listen. I was just looking on Spotify when you were talking, and I'm not that I was bored
No,
or
not at
anything. But I just wanted to make sure it was on there and see what was on there
That
to
must
listen
be
to.
on there.
What was the album called?
The album's called Spells.
Spells. I think I saw it on there. Yeah, that was under Heck, wasn't it?
No, that's under Ben Lucas Boyson.
That's under Ben Lucas, right? Okay. Okay, right. Brilliant. My next one, when I find the page,
You're not being very professional today.
Fuck me! I'm never professional, mate. Never professional. This is the one that I was talking about earlier with the spelling. This is Heidi's Head by Kleenex from 1979. And I've always, it's pronounced Heidi's Head. Heidi's Head is so bad. Heidi is so sad. And but it's spelled Hedi.
Hedi.
So Headi's Head.
That must be a
Headi's
typo.
Head is so bad.
Yeah.
Possibly, but it's on the sleeve. But this is so this is by Kleenex. They were a Swiss all-girl punk band, and this single was from 70. I think it was originally released in 78 in Switzerland, and then it was picked up by John Peel.
Ah, another Peely.
John Peel played the tits off it, and they subsequently re-released it on Rough Trade. And Heidi's Head was the B-side, and Ain't You was the A-side. But I just loved Heidi's Head, and I must have heard it on John Peel, because I distinctly remember going and buying it from Keith Records and playing it to death. And it's very, very along the lines of the Slits and the Raincoats, in that it's an all-girl band who weren't fantastically musically talented, but made a fabulous, fabulous racket. And Heidi's Head was, Heidi's Head basically goes, Heidi's Head is so bad, Heidi is oh so sad. As far as I remember, that's the entire lyrics, repeated over and over
What more
again.
do you need, eh?
Exactly. And as I say, it's very much more Slits than the Raincoats. Kind of squeechy vocals, but just the most glorious, glorious racket you've ever heard. And they were formed in Zurich in 78. A lineup that was Lislott Haar on drums, Claudia Schiff on bass and vocals, and Regular Singh on lead vocals. Regular Singh, and Marlene Marder played on guitar. And they recorded that single again. As I say, John Peel picked it up, as re-released on Rough Trade, and that's when it became freely available in England. I don't have my copy anymore because I sold it in one of my massive singles clear outs from years and years ago. But they were called Kleenex from 78 to 79. They then got told off by Kleenex. And said, you can't name your band after our snot rags. And they said,
is that actually what they said?
And I think so. Hang on, let me just check. Yes, you can't name your band after our snot rags. That's definitely what they said. And they then changed the name to Lilliput.
Oh, right.
And released a few more singles that I kind of never really kept up with what they were doing. There are a couple of compilations available of their early singles. There's one on Kill Rock Stars that's probably the one to get. I think it's the most recent one, and that has Heidi's Head on it. And they did follow it up with there was a second single called You as Kleenex, which is very good, and that appears on odd like punk compilations every now and again. That will pop up on something.
Okay.
That's really good. And then it's got several songs they made as Lilliput.
Right. I'm quite surprised, and I'm sure they were very relieved that they didn't get chased down by a bunch of little tiny people demanding that they change their name for fear of being confused with their homeland.
Yeah, I believe that is what happened. But luckily, rather than with Kleenex, they could just step on the little people, squidge them and say,
fuck off.
Yeah, now fuck off. Yeah, exactly. So always good when you've got tiny miniature people. You have to remember you can't just stand on the little fuckers.
They're not very threatening, are they?
No, not really. Oh, you, mister, I'm going to help you. Shut up. There you go. I don't know if all little people sound like that. It was just help me, I'm down here. Oh, this man.
Wee Man from Jackass would probably kick your fucking ass.
Yeah, but Wee Man from Jackass is still a bit fucking bigger than Lilliputians, isn't he?
Yes, yeah, true enough.
You know, I mean, fucking hell. Yeah, so yeah, again, another band that there's not much more to say about them, really. I just really, really love that single, and I just fancy getting on a playlist so everyone can enjoy it as well. No problem. Because it is a great, because when you listen to it, you will spend at least a fucking week walking around going, Heidi's head, it's so bad. Heidi is so sad. It's so catchy. It is so bloody catchy. It just buries itself in your head, and you just can't get rid of it. Yeah, so there you go. That was Heidi's Head. It's so bad. I wonder if you could sing that as a Lilliputian. Heidi's Head is so bad.
I can tell that's hurting. That's hurting your throat, isn't it? Trying to do it like that.
Probably my microphone probably didn't pick that up, so everyone would go, "What the fucking hell is he laughing at?"
I can do that to your voice in post production anyway. I can give you a dose of the miniaturization with your voice.
Helium.
Yeah, I can easily do that.
Give me some helium.
Do that.
Brilliant. Yeah, thanks, mate. You can stop now. No, stop it, honest.
Stop starting. Right, okay. My next one is going to be probably quite brief as well, because this is a track.
Excellent. So my number 5
is not quite that brief, because this is a fantastic track from a band who I've only got one of their records. They've only done a couple of albums, I think, and I've got an album from 2015 called Shackle's Gift, and it's by a band called Zun Zun Egui. And it's...
Bless you. Read an episode.
That definitely worked there.
I'm on a fucking roll. I'm on a roll.
There. Yes, Zun Zun Egui.
Bless you.
Fucking stop. Never get through this one. I'm not mentioning him again. Fortunately, the track is just...
You can refer to him as that band.
That band. Fortunately,
I mentioned.
The track is just called Ruby, so there's no real legitimate option for you to be doing your Bless You bit for that.
Damn it.
But the album it's okay. It's moderately interesting in places. It's not one that I would say is anything like a classic, but this one track blasts out leagues and leagues above everything else on the album, and it is such a sad thing that they just didn't create more music like this one track, because it is so good. So this is from 2015 album, as I say. It's on Bella Union, and the band are from Bristol. And basically the core is a Mauritian singer and guitarist called Kushal Gaya, and a Japanese keyboardist called Yoshini Shigehara.
Bless you.
Fuck! I didn't see that one coming. I should have seen that one coming.
Just asking for.
Damn it! This band with these two guys, you know. You need a Kleenex, all this sneezing, and not fucking anything else. You mean what? Snot monster. Okay, so on this album they're joined by Matthew Jones on drums, so you're not going to get anything out of that. Adam Newton on bass and vocals, Stephen Kerrison on guitar vocals.
I'm going to email him, tell him to change his fucking name to Matthew and Tissue.
But it's produced by Andrew Hung of Fuck Buttons, with whom they toured in 2009. And in the beginning, there were 9 band members, and what happened to them, I don't really know. I've read some interviews with them, and they do refer to...
They probably chucked them all out for having shit names that you couldn't say bless you to.
That's it. It's all very mysterious. But what this music is, it's a high-energy blend of free jazz and Afrobeat and funk, but with a dose of industrial electronics in it.
If there's one genre that makes me shudder,
Yeah.
it's fucking free jazz. I've got to be honest.
It's not free jazz how you might think. It's not free.
Yeah.
I mean, their influences, the diverse influences they've got, range from White House to Fela Kuti, from Jesus Lizard to James Brown, Led Zeppelin to Boredoms, John Coltrane. It's a real mix, and you get that listening to it. Because again, it's one of those, I haven't really got anything else like it. It's just a shame that it didn't really work for most of it other than this one track. And this track is just an awesome piece of music. It kind of blasts, it's somewhere in the middle of the album, and it blasts out of all this other stuff, but it swaggers like a menacing thug. It's so heavy and dirty, this deep, gritty, speaker-crushing electronic pulse that just belches out periodically. There's percussion rattling all over the place, and Guy has got a great voice, there's no doubt about that. I mean, he could have been a singer with another Whitesnake or something like that. He's got that real histrionic voice, and he can sing, as he does, in English, French, Creole, Japanese, as well as that idioglossia of making things up. And essentially, this track is just the rhythm and vocal, and it doesn't really need much else. This massive electronic bursting and the percussion. Apparently, it's based on music used in weddings by the Tamil-speaking Hindus in the south of Mauritius. But they have done quite a few albums. Well, not quite a few. I think 3 or 4 albums, I think. Having got Shackles' gift, if I thought that the rest would be like Ruby, I would have bought them all straight away. But there was so much that's relatively weak on Shackles' gift. It's not been one that I've been compelled to go back to. But like you and Kleenex, I've put them on because Ruby deserves to be heard. It's just, for me, fantastic. It's got menace, it's got power, it's got a real sense of dynamism, and Guy's voice is so good. Just really, really all fits, and it shouldn't. Free jazz, industrial noise, and what sounds like a heavy metal kind of singing person. It all shouldn't fit, but it does.
I was just thinking of heavy metal, talking of heavy metal, going back to, I don't know what it is, but I got the feeling that it might be love. So, we've kind of gone full circle. If only that was the last choice. Okay, my final one is a weird one, really. I just got this in my head and I just couldn't get rid of it. I do love this song. This is Ruby Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
But not the Rolling Stones version. It's the Melanie version.
Oh.
Yeah, I just love it. I really, really love this song. And I really like the song. I really liked, but there was just something about her version of it that just always stayed with me for years and years.
I don't know if I've heard it, but I'm imagining it as a very soft, pappy pop song.
No, well, she's got some proper heft to her voice in this one.
Okay.
Not kind of not in a deep kind of
Tom Waits kind of
like
way.
Bonnie Tyler type of, bombastic kind of way.
Thoughts out there to Bonnie. Hope you get well soon.
But is she ill?
Oh, she was in induced coma a few days ago.
Oh, yes, she was, wasn't she? Yeah. Yeah. I was like that when I listened to her fucking LP, so...
That'll perk her up, no doubt.
Yeah, I was lost in France.
Yes.
Yeah, so Melanie is a folk singer, really, late 60s, early 70s folk singer. And always kind of seen as a bit lightweight, really, because she did Brand New Key, which was later, I've got a brand new combine harvester, wasn't it?
Who'd have thought the Wurzels would have got into our podcast? You did it. You had to do it.
And also, What Have They Done to My Song, Ma?
Oh, yeah,
was one of her compositions. But my like I say, my favourite version of Ruby Tuesday is by Melanie, or Melanie Ann Safkar Shekarik.
Bless you.
As yes, thank you. I believe she was of Russian-Ukrainian ancestry.
Was she really? Oh.
Yeah, made her first public appearance age of 4 on a
Oh,
radio
right.
show, singing a song called "Gimme a Little Kiss,"
Well, don't.
as we've often said to each other over the many years that
Oh, indeed.
we've been pals. Yeah, and she is kind of one of those. She was a bit like almost a Zelig type person, just turned up everywhere. She was at the Isle of Wight festival. She did early Glastonbury's. She was always around. But as I say, always kind of looked on as a bit of a lightweight. But her version of Ruby Tuesday, I think, is superb. It's like it's one of those songs where you get it's a bit like going back to Yvonne Elliman and If I Can't Have You, and when you get that song that means so much to you, and you just get that perfect performance of it, and there's something about the Ruby Tuesday song that really resonated with her. And she gave such a fantastic performance in its recording,
Heart and soul.
Absolutely. And I can remember the first time I heard it. I think was on. I'd obviously heard it, throughout the years on the radio, etc. But my mum had a compilation, one of those KTEL compilations.
Oh, yeah.
And it was like American songwriters. It was something to do, all American tracks, and it was on there. And I can remember playing it and just absolutely loving the song. And I always loved. I think the original by Rolling Stones is superb as well. And I've got a feeling that Marianne Faithfull might have covered it at some point as well. But just the Melanie one, it just really caught my imagination. I really loved it. And it's one of those songs just buried itself inside my head, and will just pop out every now and again. If I hear someone singing Ruby Tuesday, I just automatically think, well, hers is better. Melanie's is the best song, and I can imagine people listening to it and thinking, what's he fucking talking about? It's not a patch on the Rolling Stones.
I think people think that a lot when they listen to you, to be honest.
Quite possibly, yeah. But yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. But it's just one of those songs that really moved me. And it probably isn't the best version of it, technically.
Is she playing with a full band?
No, it's kind of it's stripped down.
Yeah.
I mean, there's, it's, I don't know. I weirdly, I probably couldn't even tell you, because all I think of is her voice.
Right.
I don't even think of the backing. And I played it earlier today twice.
It's not a cappella, is it?
No, it's not. No, there's definitely other musicians on there and other instruments on there. But yeah, I just all I can think about is her voice singing it, and and it's not even a perfect sounding version. Do you know what I mean? But there's just something about it that she's kind of gone, that's my song.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it everything. And she just makes such a fantastic job of it.
I think the perfection and the gloss and the polish is sometimes detracting from that heart and soul, that feeling of human emotion. I think from what it sounds like, I'm not familiar with the song. I will listen to it. I'm interested, but if it sounds like it's a much more authentic rendition than might have been the case.
Yeah, it is. It is just one of those songs that just always stay with me. And I can look back on lots of my favourite songs and think they're probably not the best performances ever. Yeah. They're not but it's that feeling, isn't it? It's just that feeling with some things. And this is a particular example of that.
When did she record it? Did you say?
This was early 70s. I can't remember exactly when. It must have been 70, 71, I should think.
Right.
1970 she recorded this version. And she's died in 2024, age 76. And I kind of remember seeing on the news that she died. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've got a a compilation of hers, a best of Melanie that I bought from a bloody charity shop.
Okay.
At some point. Yeah, I'll have to have a look for that. I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I think it's in a box in my bedroom. So I might give that a bash tomorrow. Just because why
not? Indeed.
Why not? Indeed. Yeah. So that's my final pick for tonight. Ruby Tuesday by Melanie.
My very deep voice. My final one.
Come on, get it down there. My final. My final pick.
My final pick.
Oh my good God, that was from the bowels of hell, wasn't it?
Yes, like this song.
Jeepers.
No, not like this song at all. Not like this song at all. This song was recorded in
Wham!
No, it was recorded in 1979, this track, and it was only released in 2006.
Was that bad?
Like a lot of the tracks that I pick, the duration of it is notable, because
there we fucking go.
Because it's 38 seconds long, and 10 seconds of that is the singer telling the person recording it after he's just sang it how he used to sing it a lot when he was a kid. Because this track is called Free Go Lily, and it's by Doc and Lucy Barnes, and it's from a vast collection, a sprawling collection of traditional American folk music.
Sprawling, you say?
Sprawling. There are hundreds and hundreds of tracks in this collection. When it was first put together by Art Rosenbaum, who is a famous field recordist, his intention was that it would be a 5 CD box set. But he collected so much wonderful, fascinating music that it ended up being 2 sets of 4 or 5 discs each, I think. So it's a huge hundreds and hundreds of pieces of music. And what Art did is he went out into the heartlands of America, and he'd just walk into a gas station or a grocery store and say, who round here sings the old songs? Who round here plays a banjo? And he would get pointed in a direction. He'd find these old guys and girls, and they would just sing into his old tape recorder the old songs from the 20s and the 30s and that, and he would record it all just as it is. All the background noise, the mistakes and everything else, and he'd just record it, whack it down, and it's fascinating, so smile-inducing, because the people who are singing this music takes you to their dusty yards, because it's where he's recorded it, in their yards, on their porch, in the workshop, in the field. No signal processing, no interference with the original sound capture, and it's all there, and it's great. It's just a belt. It's music that just sums up life at the hard end of rural communities in the backwaters of America. It's music sung by and about cotton mill workers and coal miners and labourers and bootleggers. It's weathered voices and cheap battered instruments. There's a lot of a cappella on there, but when it's got instruments, you can tell they've been home-built. Guitars, home-built, banjos, pianos that sound like they've fallen off the back of a truck, fiddles. And it's music that's handed down generation by generation, unwritten. It's just taught down through the generations. And it's great. This track, as I say, was recorded in 1979, but the earliest one on the album was recorded in 1958. And that's when it was recorded, because Rosenbaum was collecting this stuff over decades. It is 38 seconds long, and as I say, the last 15 seconds is Doc just laughing his head off at the end and explaining how he used to sing it when he was 5 years old. And when he's singing it on this recording, he sounds about 130. So it was a long time ago. And it's a game song. It's one of those songs you sing when you're a kid as part of a game. I don't know what the game is, but you can tell it you can imagine little kids running around and singing this like they're playing hopscotch or something like that. You can tell the performers themselves are taken back and they're kind of reliving that in their old bodies, and it's brightened their little moment. I think you can imagine if when you're like 80 or 90 and somebody comes knocking at your door and says, I've just been down to the One Stop and they said you can sing me a Buzzcock song, and you'd be delighted to sing a Buzzcock song.
Yeah. And then they'll hear me sing it and they go, weren't you famous once for doing a podcast and singing those? And I'll be going, yep, that's damn right there, boy.
Let me just get my banjo.
Now parse me my incontinence pants.
the ones I've been wearing for the last 2 weeks.
Just you ring them out. Put them straight back home, boy. Yeehaw.
Yeah, no, I'm not quite sure why you would pick up a Texan's role living in the heart of Cambridgeshire, but who knows? Who knows?
Well, I've been widely travelled by then. When I win the lottery, I shall definitely spend a couple of months in Texas just so I can perfect the accent for when someone comes knocking at my fucking door saying, "Can you sing a Buzzcock song?" Jake sent me.
Particularly if you get done under Shania law, would you have to sing in a Texan voice?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Anyway, sadly, Rosenbaum...
Ever fall in love with someone, ever fall in love with someone, yeehaw!
You got it. You got that one covered. That bass is covered. Oh dear. Anyway, Rosenbaum died in 2022, sadly. But he committed all this stuff to CD or to tape and eventually CD, which is fantastic. He'd been a painter, he'd been a university art professor, he'd been an academic folklorist and as a musician himself. He's written books, and his historical materials are in the Library of Congress. So
I think I've read about them. In fact I've listened to some of the songs. And
I think when it came out, there was quite a lot said about it because it was such a massive historical trove that he was putting out there. So you might well have picked something up from that moment. But as I say, it wasn't till 2006 it was released, the first batch, and then I think the next batch was a year or two later. I can't remember. But it's great. I mean, I find it fascinating to hear this stuff, and it just makes me happy. You could have included almost any of these songs in your Make You Happy episode that we did, because you just kind of smile at the joy and the pleasure and the grimy renditions that are being put before you. So not an awful lot. So I don't really know much about Doc and Lily Barnes. I assume that they are a couple. There's nothing much in the sleeve notes to say. I mean, it just says that they did it, and it's a game song, but it's very good. And whether that's on, I'm sure.
I was just trying to check. I don't know what it would be.
The name of the name of the record is "The Art of Field Recording: 50 Years of Traditional Music."
I will check it out and see if we can see if I can find it. Yeah,
I don't know what label it's on actually, but yeah.
Well, I know it's on Bandcamp, isn't it? I just found it on Bandcamp.
Is it?
So,
okay, cool.
Yeah, but whether it is actually on Spotify or not remains to be seen. But we'll definitely check.
Okay, well that is my final submission.
That is your final submission of this week's episode.
So that leaves us.
Yeehaw!
What have you been listening to, Dave, on your stereophonic machine?
This week, Jake, I have been listening to mainly new music. Well, almost.
But the band new music.
Ordered.
Living by numbers.
No, not living by numbers. This week I've been listening to Sakura by Susumu Yokata, which is an old Japanese LP, kind of ambient-y, very good.
Old Japanese LP, you said?
That's an old one. That's from, and the rest of them are all new ones. I've been listening to Fenian by Kneecap.
Oh, yeah.
A copy of which I bought at the independent record market, independent label market. That was really good fun. We had a great time there. I spent far too much money.
That's the danger.
Oh dear. Fucking nightmare. Then I've also been listening to Poem 1 by Anna Roxanne, which is on Cranky Records, I think. And it's very, very good. I thoroughly recommend that. Then from Warp Records, I've been listening to Lavender Networks by Fire Tools, which is fucking bonkers. That's like dance music with screamo vocals.
Okay.
And guest appearances from Zola Jesus and various other people. Fucking insane. Really enjoyed that. And then finally, I've been listening to Sleep with a Cane by Klein, which I stumbled across on Boomcat when I was looking for, and realised I'd got Klein's last, or I'd bought a Klein record not long ago. And this again is mostly instrumental, kind of ambient-y, a bit strangey, but well worth a listen. So yes, that's what And what have you been listening to this week, Jake?
I've been listening to a bit of a random bunch. Hymn to the Immortal Wind by Mono from 2009. Big, majestic
Excellent
rock
choice.
noise, yes.
do love a bit of mono.
Indeed. Remain in Light by Talking Heads, which is a great album from 1980.
Never a big Talking Heads fan, if I'm honest.
I wouldn't call myself a big fan. I don't have many of their records, but there are so many good tracks on that album that it's hard to ignore. It's a great album.
I think I appreciate them because I realise they are a really good band, but they never really floated my boat, I'm afraid. Weirdly.
That's perfectly possible. Next one is Music for 18 Musicians by Steve Reich, which is contemporary classical, lots of repetition, very, very good.
Super.
African Songbird from 1976, the 1976 album from Sathima B. Benjamin, which is fantastically soulful South African songstress who sadly now has died.
I recognise the title, actually. I don't know whether I've listened to that. I might have listened to that.
It was the first album, 1976, and it's very good.
Right, okay.
You probably would be surprised to know that for a songstress of the soul persuasion, I think the first track is 20 minutes long. I think...
Who knew?
But the track I'll put on the playlist, music, is a shorter track. I think it's about 8 or 9 minutes long, but it's very, very nice indeed. Then finally, an album from 2008 called QXN 948S, and it's by a band called Soy Song, which is
bless you.
Is Ivan Pavlov of KOH and Peter Sleazy Christopherson from Coil and Throbbing Gristle.
Say no more.
Say no more.
Say no
Please,
more.
say no more.
I'll try not to.
There you go. Good.
Fabulous.
Good
Okay. Well,
again.
yes. Well, as always, we must plug the greatest playlist ever. DJ Substance, Brooklyn Pete, Robbie the Girl Wonder. Still not using it. Fucking...
It's become a challenge now, hasn't it?
Dear,
she probably wants to use it, but feels she can't now because that would be conceding defeat.
I did listen to this week's episode. Again, I missed bits because I was trying to listen to it while I was working, and I kept missing bits. So she may well have used Robin the Girl Wonder, and I might have missed it while I was concentrating on doing something tricky on my laptop or something, like turn it on or something.
Hiding your search
but they
history.
did have a. They had a good selection this week. I plumped for Joy Division this week. I don't know whether I'm supposed to give that away. It was which one was it? I can't fucking remember now. I was going to say Shadow Play, but I don't think it was. I think it might have been Transmission.
I don't think you liked Joy Division that much because I think I'd mentioned them in one of our previous episodes, and you said you didn't really kind of click with it.
No, what I said was I didn't really get it to start with, and Neil used to play the tits off it, and I never really quite got it. I think it was because it was at that time where Discharge reigned for us and Crass and things like that, and it took me a while to warm to Joy Division. But when I did, I kind of by the time the second album came out, I think I probably started getting into it. I mean, he did fucking bash me around the head with it and play the tits off it.
What a bastard!
Bless him. And it did. It did. I don't think I ever did the same to him with the Cockney Rejects. I don't think I ever quite into the Cockney Rejects.
No, I can't imagine.
But no. But yes. So yes, that was my. I did find Joy Division a bit challenging to start with, but yes, I did soon get it. And it's one of those things where you listen to something long enough, and you never do get the hang of it. All of a sudden, it just goes.
Like
yes,
you said with Rush, a similar experience you had with Rush, didn't you?
Absolutely. Lots of bands I can, I think the latest one was, I think I've kind of talked about it before, Lankum, the Irish band. And so many people said it was such a brilliant album. And fuck me, I just listened to it. I was like, I don't get it. Get it. And then I read something about how one of the instruments worked, and it was that, and it had you pumped it, and it
wasn't a shit
created
pump, was
this
it?
drone. It wasn't a shit pump, luckily, no. But it was kind of a droney pump thing. And when I kind of tried to concentrate on that, and did, and then it all fell into place for me. It was fucking weird. It was really, really weird. I've never made such an effort to get into a band in my life. But when I did get it, I really loved that Lankham album.
Right.
In fact, they did a really good cover of Ghost Town recently
Really?
by the Specials.
But with their droney box,
yeah.
their pump box.
You need to listen to it as soon as you finish. Have a look for Lancom's version of Ghost Town. You'd love it. It's so unlike yet like the original. It's just fucking weird.
Put it on.
And the video was them driving all over the Irish countryside in like an old Ford Anglia or something. You know, like the Specials drove around Coventry in the dark in the car. So yeah, fantastic. It's a fantastic song. Yes.
Excellent. Okay.
So, that's us done for the week. So we will be back in another 10 days, as long as I remember to fucking do it. Forgot again last time, 12 fucking days. So I did, yes. Just completely stick on my... 2 days later, I just went, oh, fuck me, I didn't put the bloody podcast on. I mean, how unprofessional.
I don't know. Obviously your life is full of more important things.
Yes, it is. Like getting a cat flap and getting the cats
they out
outside.
now?
And now... Well, they kind of go out. They sit around on the roof. As you know, my outside area is the flat
mezzanine.
roof, the shop below. My mezzanine, and they go and sit out there. Claude went downstairs, got lost, meowed because she couldn't work out how to get back up the stairs. It's like, fuck, well, we've all been there. I mean, I'm usually pissed, but yeah.
You don't usually meow.
I had to pick her up and pretty much carry her back up. Noodle went down once and went, fuck it, I'm going back up. So they just go out, laze around on the roof, come back in, go and sleep on my bed for the day. So it's like, I don't know why I bothered.
Never mind. They'll get used to it. They'll start to take a few steps further each time, I would imagine. But,
yes, yeah, I'm sure will.
Okay.
Brilliant.
Next
okay,
time.
so all that remains is to say goodbye everybody,
everyone.
and we will see you all soon.